Oh no, the Vancouver Canucks have made a trade. They've sent away Jack Studnicka to the San Jose Sharks. Now I know I said oh no at the beginning of the video, but that's mostly because Jack Studnicka has been a guy that I've liked a lot this season. However, I'm not going to discredit this trade. This, I feel, is actually a pretty good move. The Vancouver Canucks and Patrick Allvin have announced that they have acquired defenseman Nick Cicek and a 6th-round pick in the 2024 draft from the San Jose Sharks in exchange for Jack Studnicka. This is a 1-for-2 type of deal. It is Cicek and a 6 to Van for Studnicka. And quick, immediate, just out-of-the-gate reaction, I have no idea who Nick is. Give me a scouting report, Twitter. And the first reply goes out there and says his floor is like Gretzky, which is great. That's the type of hard-hitting analysis that I'm looking for on here. However, some of the actual replies down low say 7th defenseman, 23-year-old depth defenseman. I watched him a lot with the Winterhawks in the WHL. Haven't seen him recently, but he's a big, decent skater for his size. Hard to play against, great in the locker room by all accounts. Stay-at-home guy for most of his time in juniors with a bit of offensive upside in his last year. That's a great scouting report from Meg over here. But if you go over to Nick Cicek and his profile, this is a really intriguing pickup for the Vancouver Canucks. He's 23 years old, from Winnipeg, 6'3", 201 left-handed defenseman, undrafted, signed by the San Jose Sharks as a free agent from the Portland Winterhawks in the WHL. Any Dub fans out there who had watched the Winterhawks probably do have a lot more insight as to Cicek and his play than your average Joe, but he had signed to play with the Barracuda for 21-22, actually posting up a really good point production metric. 25 points in 53 games played as a pro rookie is no easy feat, and he eventually played in the San Jose Sharks system the next season as a result. Now, the only other extra piece of info we can have on this guy, Nick Cicek, is here on Dobber Prospects. This is the report from December 2022. Cicek has been a heck of a find for the San Jose Sharks, going from a UFA free agent signing to NHL games with only one full AHL season under his belt. While it's unlikely that he'll remain with the big club with everyone healthy, the fact is he is one of the first call-ups early in his pro career, and it's a great sign for his development. He's jumped past a handful of higher pedigree defenders in the Sharks system. From a fantasy perspective, Cicek is unlikely to provide any real value as he hasn't been a point producer at any level. He may be a source for penalty minutes and hits in extremely deep leagues. The article also says that he's a big, bruising defender with limited offensive upside. Now this year, he's at 3 points in 18 games played with the Barracuda. 12 points, 69 games is his projection. Not really great. It is a step down in terms of offensive output from Cicek. But this is a guy who is coming over to a Vancouver Canucks team that has needed to focus on defense. We've been talking about the Ethan Bears of the world. We've been talking about the Chris Tanevs. It is intriguing to me that Cicek is the guy that the Canucks targeted, considering he is a left-handed defenseman. I'm not too sure if he's capable of playing right, but if he is, then that would be a really good benefit to this team. But take all the Vancouver Canucks defensemen that have been rotating around in the bottom of the lineup. You talk about the Juulsens, the Friedmans, the Hiroses, the other guys in here, and you add Cicek over to that rotation. If we go over to the Vancouver Canucks and we see the amount of guys that have suited up for this defense core, Hirose, McWard, Juulsen, Friedman, Zadorov, there are a bunch of guys, even Guillaume Brisebois over here, extra players in the AHL like Willander too, that could be seen as potential targets. This is a guy in Cicek who is going to be added to that rotation. Now, the Vancouver Canucks, I do believe they have a roster spot opened up, so there was already talk about them calling somebody from Abbotsford. If this is the guy, Cicek ends up getting NHL salary for a little bit, he comes with the Canucks on this mini road trip they're going on, then okay, that's going to be interesting to see how that goes down. And then, of course, the Vancouver Canucks being in the position they're at to give a depth defenseman extra chops definitely is nice. And they're getting a 6th-round pick on top of that, so good on the Canucks for recuperating some extra draft assets. If you wanted to talk about the 5th-round pick they sent away in the Lafferty trade, this is a 6th-round pick coming back. But For the San Jose Sharks, this actually works out really well for them too. Cicek was a guy that didn't really crack their defense core, but in return to San Jose, you're getting Jack Studnicka, a guy who, as we've been talking about this entire season, was really impressive for the Vancouver Canucks. He only had 1 goal in 5 games played, but this was a really strong player in the bottom 6 of Vancouver. I was super impressed with Studnicka's play from last year, 2022-2023, 8 points, 47 games, to this year, his 1 goal in 5 games standing out. Sure, the numbers don't look great, but if you actually watch the way Studnicka would maneuver around the ice, how he forechecks, how he gets under his opponent's skin down low, he did a really good job. And when he got sent down on waivers, I was saying this is a really bad thing. Like, this is a player who, if he's on any other NHL team, you're probably seeing some good value there. It's just for Vancouver, I don't want to make it seem like they have the deepest team in the world or the deepest forward roster in the world, but Vancouver had a system that worked that didn't require Jack Studnicka. But when he was in the lineup, he was very, very solid. Even in the AHL this year, 7 points, 9 games played, he's just under a point per game. And you can say the numbers are sort of underwhelming here. 7 points, 9 games is not the best in the world. But for a guy who was playing NHL minutes for the past year and a bit, to get sent down and be thrusted into a system that's already got their groove going on, you could understand why there was a little bit of a setback. But now, heading over to San Jose, if Studnicka is actually given a role, let's say in the bottom to middle 6 of the Sharks lineup, I have no doubt that he's going to be an effective player and somebody that Sharks fans would like to watch. Somebody that they'll get on board with, somebody that they trust, and a player who just provides hard forechecking, good defensive coverage, or not good, but decent to okay defensive coverage, and just has a work ethic that you can get behind. Rick Tocchet really nailed down into these Vancouver Canucks over the summer 2023 that they needed to work in their conditioning, and there's no guy that I feel, maybe other than Brock Besser, that really took that to heart more than Jack Studnicka. This guy came flying out of the gate, he earned his spot in the Vancouver Canucks to open up the season in the preseason, and he just didn't look back. Until the Canucks sent him down on waivers and he cleared, which I said was a really good thing. It was a bullet dodge for Vancouver, but I guess because he cleared waivers, because no team went out there and took a chance on him, his non-being eligible for waiver status actually makes him a little bit more attractive, which is why the Vancouver Canucks were able to trade him away for a defenseman and a 6th. So this is the trade at the end of the day. Vancouver gets themselves a depth defenseman as well as a 6th round pick. No idea what the plan is going to be here for Cicek, but he is a guy in the Vancouver system now. If he stays in like Abbotsford, then okay, this entire trade was not really meaningful in a Vancouver Canucks impacting kind of way, but if Cicek does get the call-up, if he does spend some time on this roster getting NHL salary and playing in practices, it's going to be interesting to see how a physical bottom-pair defenseman can fare with this team. Who knows if he's going to be better than Noah Juulsen? And honestly, not going to lie, Juulsen's been a tad better the past few games here, especially on the PK. Mark Friedman hasn't really been getting any opportunities lately, but that's okay because the rest of the decor has been pretty alright. With Nikita Zadorov in the mix, with all these other guys in the mix, once Carson Soucy comes back too, that is when the real line juggling is going to have to start. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If you're a Vancouver Canucks fan, what are your opinions about Nick Cicek coming over as well as the 6th round pick in exchange for Jack Studnicka? If any San Jose Sharks fans are out there, or San Jose Barracuda fans are out there in the comment section, then hey, let me know your thoughts on Cicek and his entire profile, because I think a lot of us don't really have much to go off of, except for that Dauber report that we had read. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. 99, and bye.